Have you ever looked in the mirror and felt like something inside you quietly disappeared? Not pain, not illness, but that deep, unsettling sense that your body isn't the same anymore? The mornings feel heavier, your drive fades faster, and that spark you once took for granted feels distant. I see it all the time. Men sitting across from me trying to smile through the fatigue, pretending it's just getting older. But I can tell when that light inside has dimmed, the eyes always give it away. And every time I tell them the same truth, this isn't aging, it's a warning. What's happening to your body after 60 isn't about lost youth, it's about lost nourishment. Every system in you, your heart, your blood vessels, even your hormones, is crying out for something simple. You stopped giving it years ago. And without it, the body begins to slow, the fire fades, and confidence quietly slips away. But here's what most men don't know. You can bring it all back. Your strength, your energy, even your passion for life, because inside your own kitchen lies a natural morning ritual that can reopen your blood flow, rebalance your hormones, and awaken the power you thought was gone forever. Stay with me, because once you understand what your body truly needs each morning, you'll never start your day the same way again. When a man crosses 60, something subtle begins to shift, not all at once, but quietly, like the slow dimming of a light bulb you don't notice until the room feels darker. I've watched it happen in thousands of men who sit across from me. Their posture a little more tired, their voices softer, their spark fading. And the hardest part, most of them don't even realize it's happening. Research shows that after 60, blood flow throughout a man's body can drop by up to 40%. That means 40% less oxygen reaching your heart, your brain, and yes, the part of you that defines your confidence as a man. It's not because your body stops working. It's because your blood vessels start to stiffen, your cells produce less energy, and your hormones lose their rhythm. I often explain it like this. Imagine trying to water a garden with an old twisted hose. The water's there, the pressure's fine, but the path is blocked. Over time, the soil dries, the flowers fade, and you think the garden's dying. But the truth is simpler. The hose just needs to be cleared. That's exactly what happens inside your body. The hose is your vascular system, your arteries, veins, and tiny capillaries. When they lose flexibility, blood can't flow freely. Your muscles feel weaker, your energy fades, and even your mind feels duller. The body starts sending quiet warnings, slower mornings, restless sleep, a little swelling around the ankles, a heavy chest after climbing stairs. Most men brush it off as aging, but these are the early whispers of decline. And yet the real danger isn't the decline itself, it's how invisible it is. You can lose up to 90% of kidney or vascular function before a single symptom screams for attention. By the time most men notice, the damage has already set in. That's why I call it the silent decline. But here's what most doctors never tell you. This decline is not permanent. The body isn't shutting down. It's waiting to be reawakened. Because once you restore circulation, everything changes. Your blood pressure stabilizes, your brain clears, and your energy surges like fuel hitting a dormant engine. I've seen men in their 70s walk into my clinic barely able to stand straight and walk out weeks later with a steady stride and a spark in their voice. What made the difference wasn't a pill or an injection. It was something far simpler, a shift in what they gave their body each morning. And that brings me to the most overlooked truth about male vitality. What you do in the first 15 minutes after waking can decide how you feel for the next 15 hours. You've probably seen it 1,000 times on your spice rack, but never realized it could change your blood flow, your hormones, and your energy in less than 3 weeks. Let's talk about that next. When I first tell my patients that the secret to restoring their vitality could be sitting right inside their kitchen, most of them laugh. They think I'm joking until they see the science. Because sometimes the most powerful medicine isn't locked behind a pharmacy counter. It's sitting quietly on your shelf waiting to be rediscovered. That's exactly what happened to Robert, one of my patients, in his early 70s. He came to me exhausted, frustrated, and skeptical. He had tried everything: testosterone gels, energy drinks, even prescription pills. Nothing worked for long. He said, "Doc, I just want to feel like myself again." I remember smiling gently and saying, "Then let's stop fighting your body and start feeding it." The answer I gave him was so simple he almost didn't believe me. Turmeric and raw honey. Two ancient ingredients that have stood the test of time, not because they're trendy, but because they work. Turmeric, often called the golden healer, is one of nature's strongest anti-inflammatories. Its active compound curcumin has been studied in over 12,000 scientific papers. One clinical review from the Journal of Clinical Pharmacy and Therapeutics found that curcumin improves endothelial function, that's the inner lining of your blood vessels, helping them relax and deliver more oxygen-rich blood throughout the body. That means better circulation, lower inflammation, and stronger, longer-lasting vitality. But here's where it gets fascinating. Honey isn't just a sweetener, it's a living, healing fuel. Real raw honey contains enzymes, boron, and zinc minerals directly linked to testosterone production and nitric oxide release. And nitric oxide is the key molecule your body uses to relax blood vessels, the very same mechanism behind most prescription erectile medications. Except honey does it naturally without side effects. When you combine these two, turmeric opening the pathways and honey fueling the engine, you create what I call the morning duo of restoration. Turmeric clears the road, honey provides the fuel. The result: your blood moves like it did 20 years ago, carrying oxygen, hormones, and energy to every cell that had been starving for years. Within days, most men start noticing subtle changes: better focus, steadier energy, lighter moods. Within weeks, the difference is undeniable. Robert called me 2 weeks later, his voice full of life. "I can't explain it," he said, "but I feel awake again." That's what healing looks like, not hype and not instant miracles, but your body remembering what it was built to do. Modern research backs this up. A 2023 meta-analysis found that daily turmeric supplementation significantly reduced arterial stiffness and improved flow-mediated dilation, the exact measures of blood vessel flexibility. Meanwhile, studies on raw honey from Food Chemistry and Nutrients Journal show it improves antioxidant status, balances blood sugar, and boosts reproductive hormones naturally. Science is finally catching up to what ancient healers already knew. I always tell my patients, the body doesn't need to be forced, it needs to be reminded. And when you remind it the right way with the right ingredients, it responds faster than you'd ever imagine. So now the real question becomes, how should you take it? Because the way you mix and time this morning duo can mean the difference between mild results and a complete transformation. Let's talk about that next. After Robert's call, I began sharing this simple morning ritual with more of my patients. And every time I explained it, they had the same reaction: that's it. They expected something complicated, expensive, maybe even uncomfortable. But true healing rarely hides behind complexity. The body doesn't crave more, it craves consistency. Here's what I tell every man who walks into my office. In the morning, before breakfast, before coffee, before you even check your phone, give your body what it's been missing. Mix 1 teaspoon of turmeric powder with 2 tablespoons of pure raw honey, not the clear processed syrup sold in most stores, but real honey, thick, cloudy, full of life. Stir them together until they form a golden paste. You can eat it straight from the spoon or dissolve it into a cup of warm water, never hot, because high heat destroys honey's living enzymes. If you're just starting, go slow. Half a teaspoon of turmeric for the first week is enough while your body adjusts. After that, you can move up to the full dose. Some men prefer to take it twice a day, morning and evening, but I always say start with the morning. That's when your testosterone is naturally highest, your blood flow is waking up, and your cells are hungry for nutrients. That's when this combination performs its magic. I've seen men transform just by staying consistent for 3 weeks. One patient, Henry, 68, told me, "I never thought something this small could make such a difference." He said he felt lighter in the mornings, clearer in his mind, and more confident in his body. His wife noticed before he did. That's how powerful consistency can be. And this isn't about superstition or quick fixes, it's biology. Turmeric's curcumin works best when it builds up in your system day after day, coating your blood vessels with protection, fighting inflammation, balancing your hormones. Honey, in turn, fuels this process by keeping blood sugar stable and feeding the very cells that produce energy and testosterone. Together, they create a cycle of repair that compounds over time. The beauty of this ritual is how human it feels. There's something grounding about it, standing in your kitchen each morning, mixing gold and amber together, knowing you're giving your body what it truly needs. It's not a supplement you forget after a week. It's a reminder that healing doesn't come from outside. It begins with how you start your day. And once this becomes part of your routine, something extraordinary happens. Your body begins to remember. Energy returns, sleep deepens, mood steadies, and that quiet confidence, the kind that shows in your posture, your voice, your eyes, starts to rise again. But here's the part most people miss. This ritual isn't just about circulation or hormones. It's the spark that sets off a chain reaction of renewal through every organ in your body, from your heart and kidneys to your brain. That's why, in the next part, I want to show you what actually happens inside you once this golden tonic becomes a daily habit, and why the change lasts longer than any pill ever could. The first thing I tell my patients is this healing never shouts. It whispers. It doesn't happen overnight. It unfolds quietly, layer by layer, from the inside out. And that's exactly what I've seen in the men who commit to this golden morning ritual. In the first few days, they usually describe a subtle shift. I feel lighter, they say. Not necessarily stronger yet, but less weighed down. That's because turmeric begins its work immediately, cleaning your blood vessels like a gentle scrub brush, breaking down tiny blockages that restrict oxygen and nutrient flow. As the blood moves more freely, your tissues start to breathe again. By the end of the first week, inflammation begins to drop. Research published in the Journal of Inflammation Research found that curcumin reduces key inflammatory markers, CRP and IL-6, by over 30%. That's not just a number. It's the difference between waking up stiff and waking up mobile, between feeling drained and feeling ready. As your circulation improves, something remarkable happens to your energy levels. Honey's natural glucose and enzymes enter the bloodstream, slowly feeding your cells without the crash of caffeine or sugar. The mitochondria, the powerhouses inside your cells, finally get clean fuel. And when the cells light up, so do you. You think clearer, you move faster, and you start to feel alive again. Around the second week, I often notice changes in my patients' posture and eyes. The slouch straightens, the voice lifts, the gaze becomes sharper. These are physical signs of restored blood flow and hormonal balance. Honey, rich in boron and zinc, gently nudges your testosterone upward while stabilizing cortisol, the stress hormone that drains both energy and confidence. As testosterone rises, so does mood, motivation, and drive. By week 3, the effects compound. Deeper sleep, steadier blood pressure, more warmth in the hands and feet, all signals that the body's engine is running smoothly again. The blood vessels have regained elasticity. The heart pumps more efficiently, and oxygen delivery increases to every cell, including those responsible for performance recovery and desire. I remember George, 71 of my longtime patients. He'd been struggling with restless nights and morning fatigue for years. 3 weeks into this ritual, he told me, "It's like my body woke up after a long sleep." His lab results agreed: lower inflammation, improved kidney function, balanced testosterone. That's what this combination does. It restores harmony across systems that had forgotten how to work together. The science behind this is stunningly logical. Turmeric reduces oxidative stress and unclogs the microscopic roads of your circulation. Honey feeds those same pathways with steady, clean energy. Together, they don't just mask symptoms, they reset the system that keeps you young from the inside out. When I explain it to my patients, I often use a simple image. Picture your body as an old, beautiful engine that's been sitting in a garage for years. The parts are still there. The design is perfect. It just needs the rust removed and the right fuel to roar again. That's what this morning duo does. It clears the rust, it ignites the spark, and suddenly everything starts to work as it should. But what makes this transformation truly powerful isn't just physical. Once your blood starts moving, your mind follows. Confidence grows, sleep deepens, relationships warm. You stop just existing and start feeling again. And that leads us to the most surprising part of this entire journey, how this simple ritual doesn't just heal your body, but reconnects your mind, your heart, and even your most intimate relationships in ways most men never expect. Let's talk about that next. Every man who walks into my clinic thinks he's coming to fix his body. But what most of them truly want is to feel connected again to their partners, to their energy, to themselves. Because when vitality fades, it's not just the muscles or hormones that weaken. It's something deeper. The spark that fuels confidence, intimacy, and emotional warmth begins to dim, and life slowly turns gray. I've seen it in their eyes. Strong men who once carried the weight of their families now staring down at the floor as they whisper, "Doc, I just don't feel like myself anymore." It's not shame. It's grief. Grief for the man they used to be, spontaneous, passionate, full of life. And every time I tell them the same truth, that man isn't gone. He's waiting to be woken up. Because the moment circulation returns, everything changes. When blood begins to move freely again, oxygen reaches not only the muscles and the heart, but the brain and the emotions. That's when confidence stirs. You stand taller without trying. You speak with more warmth. You look at your partner differently, not with hesitation, but with curiosity, with spark. I remember one of my patients, Harold, 72, who told me something that still gives me chills. "It's not just that I can perform again," he said. "It's that my wife and I actually laugh again." That laughter, that reconnection is one of the most powerful signs of true healing. Because when the body comes back to life, the heart follows. Science explains this beautifully. Improved circulation boosts nitric oxide, which not only relaxes blood vessels, but also improves brain chemistry, dopamine, serotonin, and oxytocin, the connection hormones. These are the same messengers that spark attraction, trust, and emotional closeness. So yes, the turmeric and honey ritual restores blood flow, but it also rewires the chemistry of connection itself. I often tell my patients, intimacy isn't just about function. It's about energy. When you nourish your body, you nourish your presence. Your partner feels that energy long before any words are spoken. That's why the men who stay consistent with this ritual often tell me the same thing: their relationships feel new again. They talk more, they smile more, they want to be close again, and it's not magic, it's biology responding to care. When you lower inflammation and improve blood flow, you don't just extend your life, you elevate it. Your body becomes lighter, your mind calmer, your emotions sharper. You start living in high definition again. But the most profound transformation happens quietly. It's in the way you begin to see yourself no longer as a man slowing down, but as someone capable of growth, passion, and purpose, even at 70 or 80. That's the real gift of this simple morning ritual. It's not just about healing your body, it's about reclaiming your identity. And when a man does that, when he stands taller, breathes deeper, and feels connection, again, age loses its grip. Because the truth is, masculinity was never meant to fade. It was meant to evolve from power to presence to peace. And when you finally feel that balance returning, you realize something extraordinary. The second half of life doesn't have to be a decline. It can be a revival. Now that you understand how deeply this transformation runs inside your body, your mind, and your relationships, let's bring it all together. I'll show you why this simple golden habit could be the most important decision you ever make for your health, your confidence, and your future. When I look back at all the men I've treated, the Roberts, the Georges, the Harolds, I see one unshakable truth: healing doesn't belong to the young. It belongs to the willing. The body is not a machine that wears out. It's a system that renews itself when given the right signal. And that signal can be as simple as what you do in the first 10 minutes of your day. Turmeric and honey may sound humble, but inside those two ingredients lies a symphony of repair. Turmeric calms inflammation and restores the flexibility of your arteries, allowing blood to glide freely through every vessel. Honey feeds that flow with minerals and natural sugars that fuel your heart, your brain, and your hormones. Together, they remind your body how to function the way it was designed: to strong, steady, alive. Over the years, I've watched blood tests change in ways that still amaze me. Men who once had sky-high inflammation markers saw them drop to normal levels. Blood pressure balanced, sleep deepened, confidence returned. But the most beautiful change wasn't in their numbers, it was in their faces. The light came back, the posture straightened, the quiet strength that defines real masculinity returned, not from force, but from harmony. And that's what I want every man listening to understand. Aging doesn't have to be a slow fade. It can be a conscious awakening. Every morning when you mix that golden spoonful, you're not just stirring honey and turmeric, you're stirring belief. You're telling your body, I'm still here, I'm still capable. And the body listens because biology is loyal. It responds to care, to rhythm, to consistency. It rewards effort with vitality. The same way the sun rises every morning, your body is ready to rise again. It just needs the signal. I often think of Henry, one of my quietest patients. He told me, "Doc, I used to dread mornings. Now I look forward to them." That one line stayed with me, because when a man begins to look forward to the day, again, that's when you know he's healed, not just in body, but in spirit. So as you stand in your kitchen tomorrow morning, take a breath, mix that teaspoon of turmeric with your raw honey. Watch the golden swirl catch the light. And remember, that glow is a reflection of you, of your body, coming back to life, of your strength, returning from within. You're not chasing youth. You're reclaiming vitality. You're proving that energy, confidence, and connection don't belong to the past. They belong to the man who decides to show up for himself one morning at a time. And that decision, that quiet, powerful choice to begin again, is how you rewrite the story of aging, not with fear, but with faith in your body's ability to rise. If you've stayed with me this far, then you already understand something that most men never hear from their doctors, that your strength, your vitality, and your confidence aren't gone. They're waiting to be reawakened. You don't need to chase expensive pills or miracle cures. You just need to give your body the right signal, the right fuel, and the consistency to heal itself. Every morning spoon of turmeric and honey isn't just a ritual, it's a promise you make to yourself. A reminder that no matter your age, your body still remembers how to be strong, how to love deeply, and how to feel alive again. So take care of yourself, not just for your health, but for the people who love you, your partner, your family, your friends. They deserve to see you at your best. And more importantly, you deserve to feel that version of yourself again. Before you go, if this message spoke to you, don't let it fade away. Save this video so you can come back to it whenever you need a reminder of your own strength. Tap that like button so more men can find this truth. And if you haven't already, subscribe and turn on the notification bell, because every week I share new science-based ways to help you protect your health, rebuild your energy, and restore your vitality naturally. And I'd love to hear from you. What part of this message hit home for you the most? Leave a comment below and tell me what you'll start doing tomorrow morning. Remember, healing doesn't start in a clinic. It starts with you, one choice, one morning, one small act of care at a time.